Cadillac's hit music station, 107.9 CDY. We are going to pause the music for about 30 minutes here and have some fun with Tracey Logan on Cadillac Unscripted, which is sponsored by Independent Bank and Marianne Quist of Remax Central. Katy Huckle joins me, and the library has been a very quiet place over the last few months, hasn't it, Tracey?
Welcome, Tracey.
Is the director of the Cadillac Wexford Public Library. How have things been? Very quiet, probably crickets. You've been hearing those a lot lately, I imagine.
It is unusual for us to be so quiet. Our library is usually lively and busy and full of people, so it's been a little heartbreaking for us to have the doors closed.
Right, and it's the anchor of the community, the library. Everybody's welcome.
Yes, that's what we hope to be, and that's what we strive for every day.
So tell us how it's going.
Well, right now we're open for what we call Curbside Service. Okay. So you can request books, CDs, DVDs, printouts if you'd like, and we'll bring those to you outside the library. You can pick them up while we're preparing to be open to the public.
Okay, does this mean that they call ahead? Are they emailing you? How are they communicating with you, Tracey?
They can do both, actually.
Okay,
if
great.
you'd like to email, you can do that, or you can call. And our branch libraries are open for this service as well.
And those branches are where?
Manton and Meesick and Buckley.
Okay. So what kind of response have you gotten to the curbside?
People were so relieved when we first opened it. I heard from a lot of people, I've read the same book 3 or 4 times. I need something new.
Sure. Oh, boy.
So it was really thrilling to be able to offer that again.
Well, I know my kids had a stack of them that had been checked out, and we had to set them aside and put them in a place where they didn't get lost.
Oh, absolutely.
or you know, the dog, we didn't spill dog food or dog water on them or something.
Right.
Just to keep track of them. So a lot of people had those books since March.
Yes, and we're prepared to be very forgiving, and we've waived all the fines.
Sure.
Don't be scared. Bring us back your books and come get some new ones.
Okay.
Oh, that is awesome. Tell us about the demographic snapshot of who is using this curbside service.
Oh my gosh, everybody. It's
really?
Just as our patrons are a wide variety of the community, the people using curbside are a wide variety of the community. It's everybody who just really needs something to read right now. And we have some really dedicated readers.
Oh my goodness. So there's been such a strong undercurrent of fellowship at the Cadillac Library. What are people saying when they can't come? I mean, what are some of the stories that you've heard?
Well, everybody says to us, we miss you, and we miss our patrons, too. A library isn't a library without people.
So are you working, Tracey? Are you there full-time still? And
yes, absolutely. Okay. Staff is there as we're providing curbside and as we're preparing to reopen.
What does that look like?
Oh, there are going to be some changes. And I just want to assure everybody that the services that you love are still available. They're just going to be available in new ways. So computers have to be socially distanced. Everything has to be 6 feet apart. So there are going to be some physical changes in the space. And there's going to be some small changes in the way we operate. But that's just to keep materials clean and to make sure that everything is maintained properly so that we can provide people with a safe, clean space.
I see. What about your groups that come in, children and reading to kids? And you've got special segments of people that come and use your services. What's going to happen to those folks?
Well, we do a lot of programming. Obviously, that's something that we're really famous for, and it's something we've always taken pride in. We're having to rearrange the way we do programming because we can't social distance in our small meeting room. It just doesn't work effectively.
And that's where people typically...
Yes.
Oh, I see.
That's where we've been doing things typically. So we're making plans to do more outdoor things that we can do safely, and we've moved a bunch of stuff online. So right now, all of our summer reading program stuff is available online. Today, we're doing a book trivia contest.
Oh, I love it.
Book trivia. Interesting.
What does the winner get?
I think we're doing gift cards to local businesses today.
Oh my goodness gracious. How fun is that? We got to get on that.
Can I ask you if local businesses are interested in donating to the library, who they contact?
Oh, we would love that. You can contact me just by giving the library a call.
Wonderful.
An investment in literacy is an investment in our future.
Absolutely.
And really that's going on. So the 3 months that the library was quiet, what was going on in the building? Anything?
No. Well, we are doing some HVAC work because our HVAC needed a complete renovation. Our AC is working better than it has in 10 years, which is fantastic.
Oh, great.
We're so excited to share that with everybody.
So there's a silver lining here in all this.
Yes.
You were able to get some work done inside the library.
We seized on some opportunities, and we've been providing remote reference service so people could write in their questions to us through our text service, and we could answer those questions. All of our librarians have been doing extra training. They've been ordering books online this whole time. We haven't been idle.
So do you think, because people were looking for something to do, Tracey, and people were going stir crazy,
Yeah.
do you think more people started reading?
I've heard that is a big thing. A lot of people have taken up reading for the first time and really learned to love it.
Oh,
so come and see
wonderful.
us, new readers.
That's right. That's
absolutely.
right. There's books to be rented.
So programming, give me some examples of some of your most popular pre-COVID-19 programming and how that might look different.
Okay, well, a lot of our children's programming has been hugely popular. We have a long-running series called Wednesday Wigglers, which is music and movement for young children. We're moving that online. Our music branch librarian is doing something called High Five Fridays, and it's an online video where kids can sing and dance and listen to a story, all from the safety of their homes.
Oh, how adorable, the Wednesday Wiggles. So, like, this is
It's
a
funny just to
paradigm.
listen to you say that.
It's a paradigm shift because everybody would think the library is, shh, be quiet. And then you've got your little wiggles going on. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
I've heard the term loud at the library.
Yes, that's our play group that we do on Fridays.
Okay.
We're looking at ways to make that more of an outdoor space thing.
Sure.
What is it? What do you do?
Oh, we do one story together. It's kind of like diet story time for kids who are really young and who are kind of learning how to use public spaces. So we read one story together, we do a song, and then we do an activity. Sometimes it's an art project, sometimes it's a game, sometimes it's just free play.
And that's open to what ages, or has been? In the
That's for ages 1 to 5.
So just the kids who are getting used to being socialized.
Yes,
essentially.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that is wonderful. And some of these kids that are homeschooled, too, I'm sure take advantage of these programs.
Absolutely. It's a great way for moms to make new friends, too. If you want to find people who are in the same situation that you are, you get to connect with other moms.
Oh, that's great. And share stories and
Moms
highs and lows.
Absolutely.
Moms of youngsters have lots and lots of things in common.
Oh,
and
they sure
combine
do.
over so many things.
They sure do. We're sleep deprived.
So we are getting very, very close. I don't know that you've even mentioned the date that the library reopens yet. So we do need to get to that and talk about hours and how things are going to be different.
Okay, we're so excited to announce that we will be reopening to the public on Monday, June 29th, starting at 10 a.m. We're going to be open 10 to 7, Monday through Friday, and 12 to 4 on Saturdays.
Excellent.
And I imagine some of your people have been really, really anxious to get back to work.
Yes, yes.
What about capacity? How many people will that be reduced?
Well, our region is not under capacity limitations in the
Okay.
same way other regions are, so
see.
we're not concerned with that. We just ask that people maintain the social distance.
I see. So, Tracey, are you talking to other librarians across the state and copying the homework here?
It's the only way to stay sane.
So tell us, what?
Well, everybody, as a community of librarians, and librarians are all friends with each other. We all know each other. We're all talking about what's the best way to do curbside. How do you handle this problem? I'm doing 3 weekly meetings every week that are just for directors of
Is this via
libraries.
Zoom?
Yes.
Great.
It's all about Zoom right now.
And so everybody shares their ideas, and then you implement what might work here. And
Exactly.
oh, that's great.
So what have you found that another library is doing that you might be implementing there?
There are some libraries that are doing online escape rooms, and we love escape rooms. So that's an idea that we're absolutely intrigued by, and I'm pursuing it.
What's an escape room?
I was going to ask you, can you describe what an escape room is for
we
those
need
who
one.
don't know?
I would like one.
You want to escape?
Yes.
It's like a puzzle that you live in. It's a room that has been locked, and there's a series of puzzles and clues that you have to follow to unlock the door and get out in a certain
Physically?
time period. Yeah.
Okay, that's a
Well,
no.
I mean, you can get to the bathroom.
That's scary.
Yeah,
I don't want to be locked in a room. People think this had to have come from a movie or something.
Honestly, I don't know. It just started as a trend a couple of years ago, and we jumped on.
Oh my goodness, how interesting.
So why don't we talk about trends? Why don't we talk about things that you see that you might be able to add to library programming at some point? What are you reactive to those kinds of things that you see breaking out?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If there's a great idea, seize upon it. You know,
Okay.
anything we can do to offer more value to the community is worthwhile. We're doing. Unfortunately, COVID has derailed a lot of projects, but some of the things that we're working on is remote internet access for less well-covered areas in our county. A lot of libraries are offering hotspots that can be borrowed. We're working on that. It's a lot of programming stuff, obviously, because there's so many great programming options out there that we're interested in. Oh gosh, it's such a big question.
As you think of that, Tracy, Rich, I cannot tell you how many people I run into that say, well, I don't have a computer. I need to go to the library.
Yes.
There are
That was probably the biggest thing that you needed to fill in those 3 months that you've been closed.
Well, besides books.
That internet and books. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Last year, I think we offered 80,000 internet sessions across our system.
Incredible.
And most of those 80,000 were probably people who didn't have it available at home.
Yes. The majority, about a little over half of those are Wi-Fi accesses,
Sure.
but still a lot of it is people who need our computers, and a lot of people don't have printers at home.
It's true.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, do you charge for the service?
We do charge a small amount just to cover the paper and the ink, because ink is so expensive.
Ink is very
I see.
expensive.
It's
Okay.
10 cents for black and white and 25 for color.
But what if they just needed to get on the computer and not print anything?
Oh, that's absolutely free.
Wow. Awesome. What a great service.
We continue our conversation with Tracey Logan, director of the Cadillac Wexford Public Library, in just a moment on Cadillac Unscripted, 1079 CDY. Cadillac Unscripted is sponsored by Independent Bank and Marianne Quist of RE/MAX Central. Buying a home is still a great American dream. And yes, it can be an intimidating process, but you can rest assured and have confidence when the professionals from RE/MAX Central are in your corner to guide you through it. Marianne Quist of RE/MAX Central has helped hundreds of home buyers in and around the Cadillac area navigate the process over the years, and she's ready to help you too. From start to finish, from finding a home to submitting an offer, to understanding the purchase agreement, to inspections, surveys, and appraisals, to the time when you finally sit down and sign those closing documents, Marianne will be there. When you're ready to buy, talk to Marianne Quist at RE/MAX Central. See her listings at teamquist.com. This is Cadillac Unscripted on 1079 CDY, and we continue our conversation with Tracey Logan, the director of the Cadillac Wexford Public Library. So let's talk about some of the interesting programs that you've had. Now, you and I were just talking about my son. My son spent a lot of time at the library when he was younger, and you had so many great programs for kids that you wouldn't normally associate with a library. Like at night, you'd turn the lights off, and you'd have
Nerf Wars.
Nerf Wars.
What? Are you kidding me?
Nerf Wars. Yes.
That is awesome.
And all of a sudden, you know, the lights are out and the place is hopping.
Yes.
Tell me about the experience of being in there when there's Nerf Wars going on and you can't really see all that much.
The funny thing is, while the lights are out, the level of noise is much, much higher.
Oh, sure. People are unmonitored. They feel like they're not being monitored.
You weren't concerned about people running into shelves and knocking books over or anything like that? or were you?
There are some concerns that you balance against the value of the program, and that is valuable. That has earned us so much love and loyalty from the kids that we serve, and then we can utilize that to do other things for them.
So what ages of kids come to the Nerf Wars?
We offer 2 sections of Nerf Wars. One is for 4th through 6th grade, and then one is for 7th graders up.
This is a precarious community. It's an age that you want to get kids going the right way.
Yes, exactly.
And you guys are a big part of that, it sounds like.
And that is a way that you can market the library to and hopefully have a lifetime person, you know, who will come back again and again at various parts of life. But this is probably something that's going to be affected by social distancing, right?
Yes.
That kind of thing probably isn't going to come back for a while.
It's a little hard to guarantee that we are 6 feet apart in the dark.
Yeah, right.
I see.
But we're looking at other things that we can do instead.
So other libraries, what did they take of yours?
Oh, gosh.
I think the Wednesday Wiggles got copied out there.
Yeah,
It's so darn
probably.
cute.
Our teen librarian is an absolute genius, Miss Emily. So a lot of her programming is borrowed from around our area.
Wonderful.
She was kind of the first one to implement Nerf Wars.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about your staff, Tracey. Talk about the people who work in various roles at the library and what they do for the community and for the library at large.
Okay. Well, our staff is divided into 3 general areas. They each serve a unique population. So we have our kids' room staff, which is for 0 to 12, and they're really invested in early literacy. So we do a lot of work with these are the skills that you need to get before you can learn to read. Because there's a lot of things you need to have, like small motor skills. You need to be able to emotionally regulate. So we do a lot of programming and activities. Our early literacy program is all based on encouraging those skills.
Oh my goodness. Who knew?
We know now.
We do?
We do a lot of what's basically school prep so that when your kid gets to school, they're ready to face that challenge.
Wow.
And then we have our teen section, which is for kind of middle school and up. And what we're doing is we're building community so that kids have healthy outlets, and places where they feel safe and where they can express themselves.
Yes, and accepted.
Yes. We have a writing club. We do D&D.
Okay, what's D&D?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, my
for teens.
Oh, yeah. There's a flashback.
It's coming back. Everything's coming back.
Everything does come back eventually. How about collaborations with other groups in town? Do you have a nice relationship with other folks who provide similar programming or complementary programming?
That's something that we'd like to get into more. We've been working on building relations with the Y because we admire their work so much. They're doing really great things in the community. And then we're working with Oasis a little bit more to try to encourage people to utilize their services.
Excellent.
There's a lot of great organizations in this community.
That's great.
Let me ask how libraries are funded. And is there a concern going forward with the impact that the virus has had on so much of the economy? Is there a concern about the libraries?
Thank you so much for asking that. Our 2 main funding sources are our millage, which is relatively stable depending on housing prices, obviously. And then our next one is something called penal fines. And what that means is that anytime a state trooper writes a ticket within the bounds of Wexford County, a portion of that money is given over to the library. But obviously, in this time period,
You are looking at this. You're stuck. I never knew this either.
I know a lot of big donors.
Oh my goodness.
No, I mean, really, who knew? No,
Yeah,
I did not know that.
No.
I pray for petty crime every night.
That's outstanding. Oh, goodness.
So your revenue streams are relatively stable then.
Well, we have some concerns about penal fines because
Okay.
in the 3-month period
Fewer
when we
people
were on
driving.
shutdown,
Sure.
Yeah.
And think about it if you're a state trooper, too. I mean, do you want to be dealing with, they're
Sure.
definitely doing their job, but who wants to be pulling over strangers? That doesn't sound fun to me.
Yes.
Yeah. So the way forward for the library, what are we looking at in the next year? If everything is to work out, COVID-19 doesn't fade away. It's always going to be something that's there until we have a vaccine, obviously.
Sure. Oh, boy.
But in a perfect world, where do you see the library in a year from now, 6 months or a year from now?
Well, the nice thing is that we're learning every day more about how exactly COVID is transferred. So we have a better idea of what is safe to do and what is safe not to do every week. So as that goes on, we're going to be adding services and improving our processes and just getting closer and closer to normal all the time.
And I think a lot of people are running into that is because this is something none of us has ever gone through before.
Moving target. It's
Yeah.
a moving target.
It is. So you make a few mistakes and you learn from them and you move on. You figure out what you did wrong and do more of what you did right and move on.
Are the other libraries opening Monday as well?
Actually, everybody's on their own schedule.
I see.
Traverse City, I think, opened today. I don't think Manistee has offered their date yet.
So those folks are going to be very helpful to you. Like, okay, this went well and this did not, and then maybe you could avoid.
That's what we're hoping.
Okay. Authors come and go. And sometimes, and maybe men do too, Tom Clancy, some of these, but who's hot right now?
Oh gosh, James Patterson could sneeze into a book and sell that.
I love it. I love James Patterson.
That's funny.
Who else? What female authors?
There's a really big section of people who love something called grief fiction, and it's books that make you cry.
Okay, I'll pass. What? Really?
Yeah, some people are really into that. I think there's like a catharsis to just reading something really sad and having a good cry, and then you feel better afterwards.
Oh my! I mean, with James Patterson, you're on the edge of your seat, and this kind of thing. But I didn't know that. That's fascinating.
There is, at least on television, there is a new fascination with true crime. Is that a big genre right now?
Mystery is always our biggest sell. True crime is up there too.
Okay.
Tracy, it reminds me of that song. That's entertainment. I mean, books are entertaining. They take people away from their lives, and they get to go, and be carefree for a minute and live in somebody else's world.
There's a lot of research that shows that regular readers are more empathetic, that they're kinder people, that they have more compassion, and also that reading is so good for your brain. People who read regularly are better at comprehension, they have better memories.
We better get with it, Rich.
Well, and as you were just saying earlier in the show, probably a lot more people have discovered or rediscovered sitting down with a good book over the past few months, and hopefully that continues.
Oh, the nice thing is if you're imaginative, you can seize on this as an opportunity. And one of the things that we're looking at is reaching out to populations that we've never had a chance to reach before, because we're utilizing new ways to talk to people through our online programs and through Curbside Service. So we're attracting a whole new population of users.
Oh my goodness, you're going to build your base.
That's what we're hoping.
So how do folks learn more? You got a website, you got Facebook, probably all that stuff?
We've got all that stuff and a Twitter too. We're fancy.
You have a Twitter account.
Fancy.
Yes.
Wow. What's the character limit on Twitter now? Something like
140 is it
100,
still?
140. Yeah, expressing your opinions in little bits at a time.
I'm curious, Tracy, back when things were normal, what percentage of people checking out books want to read the book in your space? In your library?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I've never really thought about it. We don't actually have that many people who just sit down to read a book there.
Okay.
Even though it's quiet. We have a lot of people who are there to study and to do homework and to work on projects like genealogy and stuff like that. But not that many just sit around to read.
Okay, so let's go back to the quiet thing, because Rich and I both aren't that good at being quiet.
As I sit here silently.
Yes, right. Thanks a lot. No, but how does that work? You've got somebody that is, maybe talking too much, or they're a little too loud. I mean, what, did they get a tap on the shoulder, or how does this?
A library is a living place. It's not a museum. So what we want is for people to utilize the space. As long as you're not disturbing somebody else, you're fine. And if you are disturbing someone else, it's just a gentle reminder, hey, we just like you to talk at this tone of voice. Thank you.
Oh, my.
There's no shushing in the library.
No shushing.
Now that's a misnomer, right?
That you could actually put that up on the wall somewhere. No shushing in the library.
And I would just like to assure everyone that my hair is not in a tight bun. I'm not wearing my glasses at the end of my nose, and there's no cat hair on my sweater.
That is outstanding.
Is that a stereotype of librarians, Tracy?
You tell me, Rich.
Oh, I love it. If our listeners could see her, she's pretty sassy and on trend. So
that's funny.
She's cracking the code on that.
Well, this is an exciting time for the library, getting ready to reopen after what must have been 3.5 long months for you.
Long, dark, confusing months.
Do you think you appreciate your patrons more?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We miss you guys. Come home.
Oh, I love it.
I would also think that in the days moving forward, once school is back in session again, there might be the remote learning piece there that's going on. Obviously, the library is going to play a major role in that. Should we see that going forward?
We're going to have to learn to adapt to all the new stuff that's thrown at us and help people as best we can.
Okay. All right.
That's the theme with Tracy, is helping people.
Yeah.
One more time, give us the website and the Facebook and how folks can stay up to date with what's going on.
And the Twitter.
And that too.
Oh gosh, you would ask me for our Twitter handle, and I can't remember. I think it's just Cadillac Library, but our website is www.cadillac cadillaclibrary.org.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, Tracey, we're looking forward to having the library being a hopping place again.
The living place.
The living place. Yeah. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tracey. Best wishes as you relaunch here. We'll be thinking about you.
Tracey Logan, director of the Cadillac Wexford Public Library, on with us this morning on Cadillac Unscripted on 107.9 CDY, sponsored by Independent Bank and Marianne Quist of Remax Central. Same time, same station, next week. Katy?
And there's no shushing at the library.
Yes, and none at the radio station either.
That's right.
All right. Have a great day, all.